You like that? 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 You like that?
Extend that. Got these extensions.
You like that?
We'll talk about it. Feeling good on a hump day. It's Wednesday right here, and this is Football Talk Daily with your host, Russell Wayne. And we actually have some news that we need to get to today. We are broadcasting live into the Detroit Lions News Podcast. Thank you to Joe Chapp and the boys. They will be joining us for our draft special. Wow, the Lions are getting better and doing that thing. So thank you for allowing us to broadcast onto your platform. The Villain Squad Facebook page. We are now at 49,000. We are approaching 50,000. So we thank anybody that's following the page, liking this page, sharing this content, helping us get football content out there, because if you're not a football fan, I have no idea why you'd be watching us right here. But welcome one and welcome all. Let me see what we got here. Boom. Yes. We have some breaking news, but they're not really breaking news. But the Lions have extended their top, I think their top guys, some guys that they really absolutely needed to extend. And we're going to start right here and right now with the Sun God. By the power of Ra. The Sun God gets extended 4 years, $120 million. What do you think about that? By the power of Ra. They've extended the Sun God. at $30 million per year. What do you think of the extension? I want to know what your initial thoughts are on that. He gets $77 million guaranteed money right there. This is an extra 4 years. It's the longest extension that your general manager, Brad Holmes, has given out. The longest one before was 3-year extension, and now Amon-Ra St. Brown is a Detroit Lion for the next 4 years. That's a beautiful thing. I mean, if you can't look at that as any other than success, you have to sign your best players. You have to keep the train on the track. Now, if you're one of those out there, I am going to challenge anybody that thinks it's too much money. Like, I don't think that I'm going to run into that. But if you have the cojones and you want to come in and say that that's too much money, I will tell you that you don't know anything about football and you don't know anything about what winning franchises do. And at year after year after year, the Lions trying to sign these guys from the outside. And you want to know why they didn't spend on Danielle Hunter and all these gigantic contracts from outside of the organization? It's because that's not what winning teams do. Winning teams draft and develop players, and then when their extensions come up, they extend their own players. This is a sign that the Lions are doing the right things. And I mean, I challenge anybody to challenge me on that spot. $30 million a year is not too much money. Because you know why? Because Justin Jefferson's deal is not done yet. They got that deal done before Justin Jefferson's deal, which means that Justin Jefferson is now next. Which means that he will get more than Amon-Ra St. Brown. That's what happens in the NFL. It's not whether he deserves it or not. It's whose turn is it. You know, when they made that decision to trade TJ Hawkinson for a second-round pick, part of that decision had to do with the fact that they were not willing to give TJ Hawkinson a max contract. But Amon-Ra St. Brown, they drafted him. They got him on a stellar rookie deal for 4 years. And that's fine. That's fine. You know, in 3 years, they're going to sign some other players. Not the Lions, but other teams will sign other wide receivers. It will be their turn. And they will eclipse Amon-Ra St. Brown's contract. So in 3 years, he will no longer be the highest paid wide receiver in the league. But guess what? He's the highest paid wide receiver in the league because he's the best wide receiver in the league. I mean, that's usually not how it happens. Usually you gotta overpay. But Amon-Ra St. Brown was a first-team All-Pro. So not only do I believe that he was the best wide receiver in football, so did all of his colleagues. You know, the people that know football vote on who the All-Pros are. And Amon-Ra St. Brown, you may be able to argue that there are other wide receivers that are a little bit better than him, but you cannot argue him out of the top 5. Who's the best wide receiver in the league is Amon-Ra St. Brown. First team All-Pro means that you're the best wide receiver. I mean, I maybe, you call me a homer for that. Maybe I'm a homer for just saying that he's the best wide receiver, but I'm not going to willing to put Justin Jefferson ahead of Amon-Ra St. Brown. Justin Jefferson does one thing better than Amon-Ra St. Brown. You know, there's more than one thing that happens that a wide receiver does other than just catch the ball and run routes and breaking tackles. There's, you know, blocking. There's running through your entire play and letting the other teams have to account for you 100. And Steve, like I said, you can argue with me, Steve. He is not the best wide receiver in the league. Why wouldn't he be? PFF says that he's the number one wide receivers in the league. He has all of the numbers and the metrics to prove why he could be the best wide receiver in the league. He is top 5 by every metric that's out there. So if you're saying that he's not the best wide receiver in the league, who is? Who is? He's definitely the best blocking wide receiver in the league. He's definitely a top 5 in catching the ball. He can break tackles. He's going to catch 115 balls a year. I mean, you want to tell me who would deserve to get a contract like that more than Amon-Ra St. Brown? I mean,
You like that? You like that? You like that?
Paul Jones thinks that deserved a 3 you like that salute. It is. It is definitely that. Rob says the guy worked his way to a top 5 from a 4th round pick. He definitely deserves it. Block. Yes, he does block. Over 3,000 yards in reception. Yeah, he's been he top 5 all time with how he started his career. I mean, maybe not just the best in the league. This guy is playing on the level that he's headed to Canton. He will head to Canton, especially if he adds some hardware to his repertoire. And Steve is right. Justin Jefferson will now get more money. And you know what? From a pure wide receiver aspect, I'm not going to argue the Justin Jefferson. I wouldn't die on that hill and say, oh, my God. But the thing is, Justin Jefferson isn't so much better than Amon-Ra St. Brown that there's like this huge gap. He's about you want a stud, you got a stud. Amon-Ra St. Brown's going to catch more balls in a season than Justin Jefferson. Justin Jefferson may have more big plays, but I thought that would be closer to 140, so I'm happy with it. The salary cap goes up every year anyway. John Kapler says, no, I don't like it. Sorry, I just don't. I love it.
You like that? You like that? You like that?
You got to sign your own players. You got to sign your own players. If you're going outside the organization to try to make your team, push it over the edge, I think that you're missing. They've been very conservative, but now this isn't conservative. This is where you should pay the guys. So let's move on to this one right here. I mean, this one was just announced a few minutes ago. I had to make a piece of content because this one's going out there. The Lions are paying their own guys. Now, the Lions extend Sewell 4 years. 4 years, $112 million. I mean, tell me, this is from Brad Holmes' first draft class. Now, 2 of the players have been signed from that draft class. And you can argue that Aleem McNeil would want to re-sign him, and they would want to re-sign Derek Barnes, maybe. I don't know. Those guys might be just cap casualties. I mean, it is what it, when you start paying your studs right here. I love this one. I like this one more than the Amon-Ra St. Brown. Steve's going in here, and I think that we have the best receivers on our team is just as good. I think that we have receivers on our team just as good as St. Brown. Remember, our guys only played 1 or 2 years, Wicks and Reed. You're out of your freaking mind, Steve. Wicks and Reed are nothing in comparison. I mean, we got to get this Packer Homer crap out of here. Oh, my God. You mean, well, why don't you have your guys go out and earn that instead of just running your mouth? You think Dontavian Wicks? Really? Watson can't get on the field. Are you kidding me? None of those guys are even close to Amon-Ra St. Brown. I don't even think those guys are top 20 players at the position. You're out of your mind, Steve. That's crazy. You're on crack. Paula Jones says $83 million guaranteed. Now, I thought that was pretty funny. But $83 million guaranteed. They gave more guarantee to Penei Sewell on a contract that was less per year. So let's really talk about what that is. You know, the guaranteed money, right? You know, people lose their minds over the $30 million a year, right? And I didn't put the $77 million guarantee on that because this looks like a 4-year, $30 million a year deal. But no, the contract, it looks like it's going to be set up more like $27, $28 million a year. And, you know, that fourth year, just like a lot of the Brad Holmes contracts, are going to be get outable if, you know, by some foreseen chance he falls off or whatever, and they want to get out of that contract, right? They guaranteed Sewell more money because honestly, you know, the left tackle, right tackle, wherever he's going to be playing over the next few years is more important. You know, when you have, and now this, I mean, do you want to argue with me about this one too, Steve? The Lions extend Penei Sewell. Penei Sewell is the best offensive lineman in football. He is, and I don't know what you could even say. I mean, you want to say Trent is. I'm not going to die on that hill either, but this is the best young tackle in the game. Well, this is the smart move right here by Brad Holmes to lock up Penei Sewell for the foreseeable future because he's the cornerstone. He's the first pick in that draft. And Steve, you know, okay, good. That's fine. I was hoping Steve would come in here. I don't want to scare Steve out. Dude, they only played 1 year, one freaking year, and they will prove it once they have a better QB throwing than the ball. Okay, then let him prove it. I wasn't out here spouting out that Amon-Ra St. Brown was as good as Justin Jefferson after his first season. I liked having a wide receiver that they drafted in the 4th round that was actually playing on the team. And you're out here comparing your not top wide receivers to the best wide receivers in the game. Who's the homer? Who's the homer right here? Good. Maybe they will be good in their second year. What if they have a sophomore slump? What if Wicks falls off and he doesn't even make the team? I mean, these guys had a couple good games, man. We're talking about the Detroit Lions re-signing the best wide receiver in football and a guy that's actually proved it. He almost had a 1,000-yard season his rookie year, and he's had a 1,000-yard season in both consecutive years. Did Wicks have anywhere near 1,000 yards, bro? Doesn't matter if he was drafted in the 5th round. You could have an undrafted free agent. He didn't have 1,000 yards. Check the stats. Amon-Ra had a better rookie season than Wicks or any of the guys that were on your team. Smoking Steve. Yeah. John Kapler says, does St. Brown's contract money motivate J-Mo to get his head out of his ass and play better? I don't know, man. That's a good question.
Say hello to my little friend.
Because the bad guy's in here. But I think it does. I don't really think that J-Mo had his head in his ass. I think what we see a lot with this team and the players that they have on this team and what they do is they bring their young players along slowly, and J-Mo's first season wasn't his fault. I mean, he was out with an ACL. And now that they look back on this, they gave him a suspension of 4 games for gambling, and then they have to come back on that and let him out early because they made a rule about what he had done, and they had to let him go early. And he came on at the end of last year. You know, you have Josh Reynolds, you had Amon Ross St. Brown and Sam Laporta in there. I don't think it was that JMO was playing bad. They were just using him in spots. So, I mean, I don't know. Maybe it helps him. I think it's definitely going to help him. I think that Jameson Williams is going to definitely grow. I mean, for anybody that would be thinking of him like, wow, he hasn't lived up to his draft. Maybe he hasn't in numbers wise, but you saw it at the end of last year, did you not, John Kapler? When you see him get the ball into his hand, I mean, he scored a touchdown in the NFC Championship game. I mean, you can't teach what Jameson Williams has. And they're going to try different ways to get him the ball in his hand. I mean, he's one of the top 5 fastest players in the NFL. And I mean, you can see that every time he touches the ball. It's like, it's electrifying. I mean, you take a gasp. I mean, you feel me, don't you, John Kapler? ACL doesn't affect your hands catching. JMO gets no pass. I mean, he's not getting the targets, you know. The guy maybe got 5 or 6 targets a week. And I think that has less to do with him not being good and more to do with other guys that are on your team that can do those things. So, I mean, you can't ask the guy to do more than what they're giving an opportunity to do. He'll get the touches. So I hope that answers your question. I don't want to argue with you. Bro, I love the battle that we have and to see it in time. Wicks and Reed will shine more than the sun god. No way. No way. I think you're crazy. I think that there's a decent chance that your team's not even as good. I think that you way overperformed last year. And I think that the Lions are arriving a little bit early as far as being a good team and rebuilding the team because of what Brad Holmes has been doing. But, I mean, Wicks and Reed, I have no idea if those guys are going to be good. Right now, they're 2 wide receivers. There's a lot of good wide receivers in the league that are on the level of Weeds and Wicks and Reed. And I'm glad that you're happy with your guys. But don't be surprised if they want to pick more playmakers over there, because if that doesn't work out, then you'll have another one. But we'll see. We'll see. See how they do in their second year. Have a good rookie season. JMO needs more touches. Dude averages a touchdown every 6 touches. Isn't that something? The bad guy says maybe catching the ball from the drugs machine from 10 yards isn't helping. Maybe he needs to just start running and catching the ball 40 yards deep over the shoulder using his hands, not his stomach. Well, John, I think that you're isolating like one play and saying that's his whole career, because I've also seen him do what they say, well, a touchdown every 6 touches. That was one of them that went on there, and it's like, that's electrifying. That's electrifying. I'm assuming that you're talking about the NFC Championship game, but that he scored in. It's cool, Fred. I love the battle. That's what football is all about. Yeah, and you got to understand, Steve, I'm going to give you a hard time because this is a Lions show, and you're coming on trolling. So you expect me to come at you hard, because, this is my team. This is my team. And I think the Lions had the best team in the NFL, not just the NFC North. We're not just going to beat up on the crappy Packers, but we're going to beat up on the Bears, and we're going to beat up on the Vikings this year, because they may have gotten better. Y'all may have gotten better, but we got better-er, and we're going to continue to get better. And this is going to be the team to beat over the next few years, and you're just going to have to deal with it. So you can talk all the smack that you want. You just passionate about the damn Packers, and I wish that you would come to the good side. Oh, gosh. You got to give it back to him. Chad's in the comments, too. I love Chad when Chad gets in here. Good afternoon, everyone. Don't get Chad started on Steve. Oh, man. Well, Steve says that that the Packers are the scariest team in the NFC now. And you really? Okay. I'm not scared of you. What reason do the Lions have to be scared of the Packers? I put out my reel on that. I keep on thinking about it, and it's like, we got Josh Jacobs. Oh, look how good Jordan Love was right here. Man, we're on our way. And it's like, our team made it farther than your team. We went 1-1 with you last year, which most teams do in the division. You split, and the Lions have owned that rivalry over the last 3 years. So I'm not really worried about the Packers. Now, if you want to convince me that the Packers are going to be a good team next year and have a good record and make the playoffs, sure, you can make an argument for that, but that doesn't mean that you're going to beat us. And I hope to God that the rest of the NFL isn't scared of the Lions. Don't be scared of us. Go ahead. Don't be scared of us. And then we'll come into your spot and we'll give you a reason to be scared of us. And I'm not just talking running my mouth. I haven't had this kind of fire before when it comes to Lions teams. You know, when we were doing this in 2021, we were hoping to win games. You know, I hope that we get a couple good players. And then last year, or 2 years ago, when they went 9-8, they ended on a nice streak. And you could tell that their players were getting better. But I wasn't yelling out Super Bowl. Wow, we're going to make it a Super Bowl. And then after this year, they didn't lose hardly any of their talent. And now they're building upon what they were building. And now they're signing key players from their draft class that we're not going to let get out of the building. And they're building not only for this year, where the Lions should be scary to your team. And if they're not, we'll give you a reason to be. And they also have it built for the future, which means that this team is going to be competing for a while longer. And is Jared Goff next? Is he next? Is Jared Goff going to be the next domino to fall? Do you want to see Jared Goff get signed next? And don't give me that crap like they don't have enough money to do these things. Good teams keep their good players and they move the cap around and they make things happen. And if they re-sign Jared Goff and they give him an extension, that adds to the stability of what they got going on. And they don't have to extend Goff either. We got no Goff. Fred thinks that that Hooker is the future. We got some belief in Goff or belief in the future, Hendon Hooker coming into that. And I think that that's the plan. And that's been the plan from the get-go. If they could find a quarterback that they thought would be the quarterback of the future, that they would go and they would get that quarterback and they would develop that quarterback. And boy, that would save a lot of money if they could get a quarterback that played on a rookie deal for 2 years. You know, if they really believed in it. And I believe this year, whether Goff is re-signed or not, you are going to see Hendon Hooker this year. Because here's the thing. People get injured in the NFL. Last year, to have an upright quarterback for all 17 games and in the playoffs, that's impressive, right? And you can't expect that to happen. I expect Hendon Hooker to see some meaningful snaps this year. And I guarantee, like, if you want me to give you a spoiler alert, here's a spoiler alert. You ain't going to see Jared Goff in the preseason at all. You're going to see the Hendon Hooker show, baby. It's my quarterback. The Hendon Hooker show. And he is going to light it up with our playmakers and in the second string and our backups. And he's going to be out there slinging it around. He's going to get some rushing going. He's going to make Detroit fall in love with him. And then go throw Goff out there. Goff's going to kill it too. And at some point in time, Goff going to get banged up, and they're going to put Hendon Hooker in. He's going to get his shot this year. He's going to get a shot to be able to run the offense, and I think he's going to do a good job. And for next offseason, this is a spoiler alert. Next offseason, we're going to be talking about should they extend Jared Goff, let him go, turn the reins over to Hendon Hooker, and it might be even after a Super Bowl victory. Would you extend Jared Goff if they win the Super Bowl with him this year? And that's the thing. If they don't want to extend him this offseason, they can wait till the season's over next year. I don't know when the deadline for that is, whether you want to keep those guys, but they were talking about Jonah Jackson all the way up until the free agency opens, right? You can work that deal out after the season's over. And maybe it is a priority. Maybe they do get it done. I don't care either way. If you want to extend Jared Goff and you want to save some money and you want to go all in this year, maybe there's another player that they want to get or something, you'll be able to do that. You could extend Jared Goff and you could save $20 million in cap for this year. You can lower that base salary, which is at like $20 million right now. $30 million, with the dead cap and everything that's all involved with that. But the base salary, and then you have bonuses after that. So he's got about $10 million in bonuses, $20 million in base salary. And if you extend him, you can lower that base salary, which would lower the cap, and then you spread it across the entire contract. So they could do that too. But I'm really happy about that. I'm going to go back through these comments, and then I want to get into some draft talk right here. Love is going to have a harder time this season with film on him. Didn't see the team predict that. Didn't we see a team to predict that Fields was going to be the MVP? Yeah, I'm feeling that way too. I think that there's a lot of Love will be in the MVP race this year, or he'll be a complete bust, or he'll completely take a step back because teams do have tape on him and they'll find ways to defend him. I mean, you did lose your top running back. Now you replaced him with another body. I don't know if Josh Jacobs is going to be as good, but he might be in the MVP race this year. Big Dan Davis says there's been discussions between Goff and the Lions per Adam Schefter, but Schefter reports that the two sides are not close to a deal. And I think that the Lions are going to be looking, because they are making these investments in, the offensive line, playmaking, wide receivers, that they're going to want to look to save a little bit of money there. Like, we're not going to give you top money. And maybe it's for the reasons that y'all are talking about. Love will have a slump this year, says Zachary. He is getting away with some Josh Dobbs-ish last season. Yeah, when I was watching Love, now Love is a mixed bag for me. So and let's just be realistic with it. But Love is a mixed bag for me. There are sometimes when I'm watching Love and he looks like Patrick Mahomes, escaping the pocket, and looking real good and slicks, throwing like off platform type of stuff, looking real good. And then there's some other times when the chips are on the line where he looks kind of goofy, where he's kind of falling over linemen and looking magooish. Look, circus show stuff happening. And I don't know which Jordan Love is going to stand up this year. And they got some things going last year. There's no doubt that the Green Bay Packers overachieved last year. No doubt. Like, I don't think even Steve himself, I think that Steve had him at 7 games at the beginning of the season. And being realistic, and I can see why they would be happy in Green Bay, because I would feel, if you're living vicariously through the Packers, that they would be feeling pretty good about where they're at. I feel like maybe they're a little ahead of schedule because you thought you were going to have a down year. And now they got some money, but they're going to have to pay Jordan Love. You got Jordan Love for a deal this year, but guess what? Next year, let's say Jordan Love's going to be the MVP, right? And he's in the MVP talks. How much money, Steve, is that going to cost you next year? How much money? How confident are you? Are you going to pay Jordan Love $60 million a year? Are you ready for that? Are you ready for that? Are you ready for that? I don't know if you're really ready for that. But the draft, oh my gosh, we're doing the 3rd annual draft special. We're going to have all kinds of guests. It's going to be so much fun. I'm going to be over at Man and Matt Mike's house. Chad's going to be down there live. Jeremy Bulrick is going to be down there live. Joe Chapp, he's going to have some representatives down there live. He's going to be down there all day. And we're going to have these special guests all the way through the draft. And we're going to start our coverage at 7 p.m. tomorrow. And we're talking about this draft.
You like that?
And one thing I want to talk about was something that was brought up today in the press conference. Or not press conference, but they interviewed on 97.1. They interviewed Dan Campbell for a minute.
We're going to bite a kneecap off.
And they asked him a question about trading back. And I spoke with you guys about this, the last couple of weeks when we're talking about this. And I feel like Brad has such a feel for the draft. Like the draft is already over to him. Like they've got their players how they want to do it. They have draft day trades already in place on the just in case on all these front. They got all these areas covered. And they have a handful of players that they think are their blue chip players. Just like they said last year, they got 4 out of the 15 of their top 15 players that were on their draft board, not PFF or Mel Kiper's, but their draft board. So they send all their scouts out, and they got a handful of players that they're going to go that they want, and they're going to see how this board shakes out. And there's a chance when you're picking at 29 that all your guys come flying off the board. And when you're picking later, you have to kind of deal with that. So there's going to come a time in the draft where maybe those players are going to be almost gone, and you're going to have to think, okay, do I want to trade up with one of these deals I have in place and get one of these super dudes, whatever ones that they consider the super dudes, and jump up and get it? Or when it comes back to you, when there's like, he said there's another list of players that he would call like guys that could compete for starting jobs, which was a little bit longer of a list. Now, would you trade back? He said for Lions fans to get ready that if the opportunity is there to trade back, that they would trade back. You know, if you can get yourself another day 2 pick to move back a few spots, that would be smart, right? Especially if you can move back or maybe even acquire draft capital for, next year. If you can't get the top guys that you want to get. So trading back is something that you might want to think about when it comes with these things. When you're looking at the board and what you could get from trading back, let me get this. You know what? I might as well throw a mock draft up here. Let's see what we got. I got the window. Let's get in there. All right. So, like when we get into the mock draft thing here, let's do a little mock draft to do a little bit of experimentation here. So let's just do a 4-round guy because I only want to think about this for the first round. You know, you run through here and let's just say you're looking at this. Can you guys see this? I hope that you guys can see this. Okay, that's up there. So here's the first round of this shook out. I did a mock. And this is what Caleb Williams goes number 1 overall. Number 2, Jaden Daniel. Number 3, McCarthy goes to the Patriots. Romeo Dunze becomes the first. And there's Joe Alt. You know, all these different characters right there. My neighbors, Vuaga, Terrion Arnold right there. Like right around in here. I think 15, 16, I think Brad Holmes is going to be looking and say, okay, what's available right here? Quinyon Mitchell goes to 19. I could see in the trade up scenario, I could see them if it shakes out like this. You got Brock Bowers, Jared Verse right here. And then you watch this. If you go to pick 17, I'd be going, Quinyon Mitchell is still available. Let's go. And go up and get them. I could see them moving up to 19, maybe trade an extra 3rd round pick for that. Who else here is willing to trade up? I don't see. I wouldn't trade up for any of these other guys. I might trade up for one of these pass rushers, like Dallas Turner. Like if one of the, because pass rushers, gosh, man, it's like, you got to get a 1st round pass rusher or you're not going to get one of the top pass rushers. Pass rushers is one of those guys that's like, it's a freak. Like the ones that are good are freaks and that's it. Right. In this case right here, you got 7 trades that are sitting on here in a trade back scenario. Would you just take one of these guys? Would you just take a Nate Wiggins right there? You know, I'm bummed but not disappointed that if we don't draft. And Big Dan Davis says, I'm 99% positive Brad is trading back. I'm ready for it and I'm okay with it. So let's really look at that, because if you're sitting on this board right here, because you're looking at this board and there's some help right there. I mean, you need to consider, and they got to make this decision fast, but we're taking our time with it. But you're looking at this. I mean, if you're looking at Nate Wiggins, who ran a sub 4.340 at 6'3" and can cover fast wide receivers, Kool-Aid McKinstry, who's probably the most fundamentally sound. You know, he's very good at the man coverage and everything. Jackson Powers Johnson right there. You could just take him. Just take this guy right there. There's your left guard. /center for the next 10 years. You're filling a major hole. I think offensive line is actually one of the biggest holes that we need to fill. So you could do that. But let's look at these trades. So pick 37. Are you willing to give up all these guys? Am I moving back to pick 37? Is there enough here that one of those guys would be your guy? Bo Nix. I mean, Fisk. I mean, who would you take out of this? I mean, I would definitely think about taking Newton for sure. 38, 51, or other teams. None of these guys want to play ball other than I wouldn't do it right there. Let's get a better scenario here. Let's get a scenario that we actually think would work. Because I don't think they're going to trade back too much if it works like that. There you go. Here you go. Panthers at 33. You're going to trade back 2 spots. This is the scenario right here. Let's look at Newton, see who's came off. Caleb, Drake May, quarterbacks. Oh, edge going right there. Wide receivers, tackles, wide receivers, cornerback, defensive interior, edge. So you're sitting here on the board and you're looking at Newton. You could take your guy. Now, you like this right here. You're going back 2 spots. Could we go back 2 spots and still get, 1, 2, 3, 4? There'll be 4 players that would come off right here before we pick. Now, we're going to lose all of our guys. So let's see what they'd be willing to give us to move back. So we got Carolina. They'll give us 33. Let's see if they give us 65. They say that they won't give us 65. It just won't be accepted. Would they give us 101? They would definitely give us 101 and maybe 142. Let's go ahead and try to get a 4th round pick inside of that too. You offer the trade. They accept it. So let's look how they broke our hearts right here. You ready? Here we go. Who are they going to get? Oh, here it comes. They take Jackson Powers Johnson like the buttholes that they are. And there's Newton off the board. And we're on the clock right there. See, to me, here's the chance you take by dropping back. Now who do you got? Who you want to take now? Zach Frazier? You want to trade back again? See, these are the chances. I don't like any of these guys. I don't like them. I don't like this situation. I don't like trading back right there. I feel like you lost a lot of value right there where you could have taken a Jackson Powers Johnson or a Newton. And I would have liked that a lot. Let's try it again. Let's see if we can't get it better this time. Get in there. Let's run it. They got 3 trades available. Kool-Aid McKinstry. There's 3 players that I would like right there to take it that high. And I know a lot of people like Chop Robinson. You want to go take Chop Robertson? There he is. You could come get him. You could go get him right here. Let's see what they're offering up. Pick 48. That's too far to go back. We're going to try one more time. See if I can't get something that I like. Nate Wiggins, Jackson Powers Johnson, another 3-round thing right there. There you go. The same situation. We're going to trade to Kansas City. Oh, 1 pick sooner. Let's see if they'll give us 64. They say no. How about 95? 68% chance. You give us 95? Do it for $32.95. That's trading back 3 spots. Offer the trade. Let's go. Let's go. So, Chop Robinson, Morgan, there you go. This is the home run scenario that you would be looking for right here. You traded back. You got an extra 3rd round pick, and then you still get Jackson Powers Johnson And I'm sorry, that's the man right there. If I can get him after trading back, let's frickin' go. That would be the ultimate scenario right there. That I would be ecstatic in that. Now let's see how we can do this. It took me 3 drafts to get to get this. So I want you to know that what we're doing right here, what you're doing right here isn't like, it's not as probable. I mean, yeah, I could do it because we're sitting here with, 5 mock drafts. And that's what Jeremy says. You're putting words in my mouth right there. You got to have the good O-line. This, to me, the O-line is the biggest need that we have, because Zeitler, Glasgow, and Ragnow are not going to be there forever. And you pick up a guy like Jackson Powers Johnson, who can back up your guard position. He might even take the guard position from Glasgow. And then Glasgow goes back to being the man as far as the first guy in to any injury. So I would love this scenario right there. So let's see what we got here in the second round. What do we got here? Edge. Oh yeah, I love that. See, we could go back-to-back guards. Look at that. Andrew Phillips, they definitely brought him in for a visit. Ororo would be a nice pick right there. Let me see what I got on my notes here from some of these offensive linemen right here and pass rushers. We need freaky freaks, right? We need freaky freaks. That's what you're looking for. So let's look here. Let's see what we got. Oh, we can get Blake Corum. All of the Michigan fans are going crazy. Oh, we got to get Blake Corum. No, I don't think anybody's saying that right now. But let's take a look at some of these wide receivers. We're looking for wide receivers. Devontae Walker, I know that they brought him in. Javon Baker. My little right there. Some of these smaller school guys, they end up falling. Let's see what we got here on DBs. And I think that I'm going to go with Andrew Phillips on this because I like that. Or Kyrie Jackson. Damn. I like that. I like the size of Kyrie Jackson. He's got a good size. He needs a little bit raw. But that would be okay for us in the second round when you're looking for a corner. But I know that they brought in Andrew Phillips. Drew Phillips is it's funny that they call these guys that they have these stats in here before the combine or any of the stuff. So they call him a day 3. But Andrew Phillips has worked his way up the draft board when it comes in with that right there. Let's see if we got any. How about safeties? Ooh, I like that. Let's see. Versatile secondary player with a fearless mentality, though he isn't an elite athlete. Competitiveness, quickness. Project him as a starting role as a nickel defender. We do need a nickel defender right there. How about edge? Can we go into edge? How about the edge? Yeah, I know that this is a popular pick right here. Marshawn Nealon. I really like this player. And I think that he seems like a Brad Holmes guy, and he's from here. I'm going to go with it. That's the one that's standing out to me out of the needs right there. So we got 7 more picks right here. And let me go into some of these comments while we're waiting. Right there, Joe said, Brad and Campbell don't know what they're doing according to you because Goff is just Kitna. We must be arguing in here. Goody Guten Spike. We played just as well as anyone in the league last year. Steve is still trying to. Steve, are you having like an inferiority complex with you? I mean, does it make you feel uncomfortable that I'm talking good about my Lions and that I'm not saying that the Packers are coming? Because they're not. you guys are feeling good, but I think that your team is a team that is going to be falling off next year. The Lions seem like they're just the better team. They're the better team long ways. I mean, you're depending on a lot of guys that just, all of your guys get to develop and none of them will take a step back. They're all just going to develop and be good. That's wishful thinking. That's the way that the Lions fans used to think for 10 years. All of their draft picks and everybody that played well for 5 minutes is going to be the next big thing. Frank is only playing one more year. I could see that. I could definitely see that. I love your takes, Jay Mommy. It's great to see you in here. Zachary says, I think that Frank will play out his contract, which is 2 more years and then done. I could see that happening too. We'll have to see how it is. Obviously, he doesn't give a shit that he has no toe. I mean, he played as a top 5 player at his position with no toe. So don't give me, oh my God, he's injured. How is he going to play through it? Well, he's already played through it. He's just decided that he's going to deal with the pain. And so he deals with the pain. He's still top 5 center. So whatever. Jeremy B says, before that drafted hooker, they called Goff the man. After the narrative, he's good enough for Detroit. I don't know. Nealand is great. Seems I like. I'll be getting a Nealand jersey. Love seeing this kid from my neighborhood. I love it. So you guys agree with my pick. So let's go into the 3rd round right there. Oh, look at that. Oh, a Roro is available right there. I love it. I'm already leaning right there. Gosh, that'd be a great guy to stick right in the middle. I mean, he's like one of these guys that's, inside outside, when you talk about a guy that was 265 and then bulks up, that means that he plays fast. I think that he would make a great addition right here. Brandon Coleman. High percentile athleticism and measurable. They give him a ceiling if he can improve the fundamental right there. Oh, wow. There's a guy. Gosh, I wish I had more of them on here. Right there, 6'6", 320. I had this watching Chris Sims as he was going through some of these guys. This is one of these. Brandon Coleman is one of these guys that can play versatile and be a back up the tackle position and back up the guard position. And it would be a good interior offensive lineman. I don't think that at 320, maybe he'll play outside. Jermaine Burton, let's see what we got. Man, Robert, that he's just staring at me. He's just staring at me. Let me see if we can find a wide receiver in here that I really like. I don't like it. There we go. Main event Mike is in the house. What's going on, brother?
Say hello to my little friend.
I'm trying to look here in the captions. Have we talked about at all the extensions?
That was the first thing that I hit. I opened up with that. Do you want to, I mean, I'm in the middle of this draft right here. And I think I'm going to go ahead and select a row right here. And then
Raggy.
Yeah.
Oh, row.
So just if you didn't hear or know what I was doing right here is I was looking for a trade back because today on the 97.1 The Ticket, they talked with Dan Campbell, and it almost sounded like he was preparing us to be okay as fans if Brad Holmes were to trade back and out of the first round, and all of the Lions fans that were there. If that happens, don't be mad. That's the kind of feel that he gave. So I was looking for a scenario that I liked on a trade back. And there's not very many because, like, I'm not looking, if I'm looking there and I got some nice players that are sitting right there, I ain't looking to go back like 15 spots or anything like that. So I found a mock draft here where I was able to, I'll show you, we'll go back here, is I was able to make a trade with Kansas City, who wanted to come up and draft Chop Robertson. And they gave me an extra 3rd-round pick to drop down 3 spots, where I was still able to pick up Jackson Powers Johnson.
Love it.
And then with my 2nd-round pick, I was able to get Marshawn Nealon from Western Michigan.
Love it.
And then rookie Aurora from Scooby-Doo from Clemson to get that.
But you're still stuck with no secondary in the 27th.
I have no secondary yet.
The 27th ranked pass defense. But hey, man, I love this scenario that you're setting up here. Is Cooper Beebe available right now in this
Cooper
draft?
Beebe is available right now.
Crap.
And we're going to go ahead and take him because you just jumped on there, and that one just stood out at me. That was my first real look at it.
Yeah, that's the Jeremy Ballreich turned me on. That guy is pretty awesome. After Jeremy mentioned him, I went and looked him up, and that guy's looking like going to be a starter in this league for a long time. But this is all smoke. You realize that, right? Brad's not moving back. Quit it. That's all smoke.
But he didn't say that. It wasn't that they said that he was going to move back. It was that with their draft, the way that they go about it, right? They got a handful of guys that they consider the top echelon guys. I believe that they are going to wait a little bit and see where that is. So if you look at this draft right here, let's go back in here and look at this spot right here. I'll go back in here because I know that they're still.
And Dan Campbell's telling the fans, look, if it happens, just relax, okay? Because this is our process. I get what he's saying, but I think it's all smoke. They're going up. They're going to get an impact corner.
Well, we're going to take a look at that here as soon as this stupid thing goes all the way through.
Probably wrong though, right? No one ever guesses.
No
one ever guesses what Brad's going to do.
Well, when people guess literally every single scenario that could possibly happen, then they usually get that right. Somebody's going to get it right here. But let's go back up in here. And if you look at the draft, the way that this one played out, and let's just say you've identified, like Jared Verse right here, right? That's your guy, right? You love yourself some Jared Verse. You would love to get a Jared Verse right there, or a Quinyon Mitchell, right? Quinyon Mitchell here goes at where did Quinyon Mitchell goes at 11. Jared Verse goes at 15. Maybe this what is it? The Fuaga is the 300. Where's the where did Fuaga go?
Fuaga goes early because he's really good.
Fuaga Fatuano Nu. I love these names. Fuaga goes at 14. So this is like these type of guys. It's like, let's just say we get out here at 19. Byron Murphy was our guy. At 17, I could see Brad going up. Okay, well, Byron Murphy's right there. Let's go up and get Byron Murphy. But we don't want to go up past 15, right? We don't want to spend the draft capital that it's going to take to get all the way up there. But let's see which guy can make it to 19. If one of our guys are there, we'll go up and get him. And I believe they will absolutely do that, Mike. 100%. I agree with you that if they're in this little area right here, like you said, you like Cooper DeJean. So maybe they move up and they get Cooper DeJean right there, or let's say Mims. Maybe they start looking at Mims right there and they try to go in. There's Worthy. Maybe Darius Robinson, Chop Rob. And in this case, we traded back, and here we are. We're at pick 159. We've picked no secondary. We haven't helped our secondary at all. Way to go, Ross. Can't get anything.
And Zach Zinner is sitting there. You can't do it, though. With the way this draft's gone, you can't do it.
Well, we have 2 guards already. So let's see what we got here for, we're not getting, there's no value. They've already raped all of the value of wide receiver. Cornerbacks, 173. Wait a minute. I guess I am. Okay.
You get some value there from that guy.
A little bit. I don't know. Let me see if any of my guys are.
Nehemiah Pritchett is a name that I've heard from the combine.
I was looking for Richardson, but I can't. Hey,
like he's
Kalen King too. I've heard
5'11", 191.
Yeah, 5'11", 191. I mean, yeah, that may be that's little for you, isn't it?
No, that's the standard size for a corner.
Let's see what we got. Let's add safety into this mix here. Let's see if we got anything in there. Okay, I've heard of this Oregon State.
Oladapo.
Kitan
Oladapo.
I like that. Right there. His ability as a tackler gives him a chance to make an impact right away on special teams and in a rotational role.
That's a late round draft Brad Holmes guy right
all
there, ain't it?
Freaking day right there. So we'll go ahead and take him. So, all right, let's get out of here. Oh, my bad. Right there. That's
Jeremy says that Nehemiah Pritchett had a visit with the Lions and that Kitano Oladapo is a good safety who's underrated.
There we go. See, Jeremy's been doing these mock drafts. I'm sure that Jeremy is way more versed on some of these late round guys than me.
But did we talk about these signings? Oh, look, you already got a graphic. So yeah, you got it. Yeah, okay.
So
I've been working all day, so I just picked up my phone after 4 or 5 hours. I look at my phone and see that it happened. So I jumped right on with your show and said, hell with work. Let's talk about the highest paid wide receiver in the league.
Correct. There he is. Amon St. Brown. Locked him up 4 more years, Mike. Now that comes with $77 million guaranteed. So don't let the $30 million sticker price really fool you into thinking that this is really a 3-year, $28 million a year a deal right here, which has definitely an option to do some stuff after that 3rd year of the extension. So let's be real with it. So what do you think, man?
It's almost like bragging rights, right? I mean, he wants to come out of it as the highest paid wide receiver in there, but when you break the contract down and really see what it really is and guaranteed money, it comes out to $28 million for 3 years. Right? Is that what you're telling me?
That's exactly what I'm telling you. Right. And so if you want to look who actually made more money for less money is Lions extend Penei Sewell, 4 years, $112 million, $84 million guaranteed on this deal. Now,
so it's essentially $28 million a year also, right?
I think that one's a little bit less. You're talking about $22 million a year.
4 equals 112. No, that's 28 a year, bro. 28 times 4 is 112.
Oh, okay. That's what it looks like. So
there you go. So now he walks away and he's able to tell his friends, I'm the highest paid offensive lineman in the league. But then when you break it all down, what does it really come out to?
Well, it comes out to, $84 million is the guaranteed number divided by 4, which is about $20 million a year.
That 84 was the guaranteed number. Right. Okay.
84 million is that's the thing. If you're looking at these numbers, guys, don't get they love to come at the stickers. Yeah, look at it's the greatest ever. And then you look at the nuts and bolts of it. The Amon St. Brown contract probably is going to cost maybe $8-9 million this year. And then like $15 million the second year. And then it'll blow up after that.
Did they really, though? Did they literally, really just do it the day before the draft?
No.
They just did this. Well, they released it.
Okay. Yeah. They released this information the day before the draft. I think it's something that they've been working on, and it was very, very close. I actually believe that they did ink it for today. But I think this is just something to be like, okay, we're almost done, but yeah, let's get back. We'll finish this next Thursday or next Wednesday. And then they're like, okay, now it's done. But I think it's been done for a minute.
So they get this done just before the draft. Now everybody can go run over the cap and take a look at where the salary cap room is sitting right now.
Right.
And then so if Amon Ra's deal is 3 years from now, or that doesn't even include 2024. So it's technically 4 years.
Technically, it's 4. Yeah, it was
Because
right
it's an
where.
extension. So if you were to draft Keon Coleman at 29 this year, his payday is coming due at the same time as Amon Ra's.
No, and then you still have Jamison Williams too. A lot of people have thrown that in there. It's really funny, guys. Like the things that I can help you with here, the things that you need to worry about right now. And one thing that you definitely do not need to worry about is Jamison Williams' contract interfering with any of this, because Jamison Williams has 3 years that he can play on this team before you have to really contend with that, because he was drafted in the second year and he has an option for a 5th-year option. So he's going to have 2 years before they even have to decide whether they want to keep him the last year. So don't put that in the mix here. It has nothing to do with each other. They are taking care of their 2021 guys. And in my opinion, and I think a lot of people share my opinion, is that Amon Ra and Penei Sewell were the 2 most important players that needed to be signed. And they've done it.
Done. Hallelujah. It's
You
done
like
before
that?
the draft. I love it. Jeremy's got some great stats over here in the comments. It says that it's 24.6 per year for Amon Ra because he's a 5th-year void in the contract. So that number just keeps on getting friendlier the more we break it down, right? So great job by Brad Holmes of getting both of these players locked up, core foundational players for deals that they can go brag to their friends that they're paid the highest in the league. But when you break it down, it still works in the percentage. We know that the salary cap is a percentage game. They're still getting the proper amount percentage wise for the salary cap for their position. And he also says that Amon Ra also got a 3.36 pay raise this season as well. So
Isn't that beautiful?
beautiful.
It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. Oh, I got the wrong one on here. Okay, so we're back in our draft. I'm going to finish this draft up.
I got a jet, man. I just wanted to say hallelujah with all your viewers and with you that we got Penei and Amon Ra locked up. This is a great day to be a Lion. One pride. God bless you.
That is Main Event Mike. Make sure that you check him out tomorrow with me. I'm going to go over to his house. I'm going to eat some of his food, and we're going to be covering this entire draft starting at 7 o'clock tomorrow. We're going to get pop-ins from Jeremy B. We're going to get pop-ins from Joe Chap and the boys from Detroit Lions News Podcast. We're going to have a lot of fun with this. Chad's going to be live at the draft. He's going to be there with his 7-foot frame, being able to get above all of the people and get the best shots of what's going on. And let's finish up this draft, and then I got to get out of here or I'm going to turn into a pumpkin right here. So we need to get some DB help. We'll get some late round guys in here. Oh, Elijah Jones. I know that we liked him. Let's see if we got any of these. Gosh, man. Somebody might say I missed because we didn't get any crazy stuff going here. 193. Another safety. I could go safety right there. Defensive interior. We already got in defensive interior. Joe Milton. Oh my gosh. Let's go with the best cornerback. I guess Elijah Jones is it. As long as he's not 3 feet tall, 6'2". Let's freaking go. Develop this guy. Elijah Jones, welcome to the Lions. All right. Lions back on the clock again. Damn it. All right. How about, oh, there you go. AJ Burner from Michigan. Let's see. Developmental defensive interior Edgeman, Mississippi. 265. The mold of an athlete. Yeah. That teams want to develop. There we go. How about a developmental edge right there? Let's go. They won't. There we go. Now we're moving into that 7th round. We'll see what they give me on this grade right here. Any QBs? You want to grab a QB? Nah. I'm looking for my. Oh, there we go. We're going to get him. We're going to get Josh Wallace. He has a good pedigree from Michigan. Let's analyze my draft. What do I get? I know they're going to love that. That for B- for Jackson Powers after trading down. Get the F out of here. Marshawn Nealon, got to like that. We're hooking it up, man. We completely revamped out that offensive line right there. Wow, what an impact. Such a Brad Holmes type of draft, too. Then we finally get a safety in round 5, cornerback in round 6, another edge defender, another cornerback. I like it. Not bad. Not bad. Now, that is just an example of a trade down draft. So, hope everybody's had fun today, because I got to get out of here. I'm going to turn into a pumpkin. We went a little bit longer today, but it's draft week, and we're excited.
You like that?
We're looking forward to getting our team better. I'm going to go back through here, and I want to thank you guys. Thank you, Jeremy B. Okay. That makes sense. That makes sense. I did not know about that, and that may keep them from drafting. So if that's the case, then we could go back in. I would have selected Nate Wiggins. I would have had Nate Wiggins instead. Would you have liked that, Jeremy? Would get Nate Wiggins with my draft, with this draft that I had. Let me get that. With this draft, instead of Jackson Powers Johnson, there would have been a Nate Wiggins in there. Because both of them were left. Yep. So there it is. There it is. If I would have known about, and I'm sure that Brad Holmes does know about that. But let's thank everybody in there. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you to Tommy. Thank you for all the information you're throwing in there on these draft picks, Jeremy. I appreciate that. Big Dan Davis, Steve the Packer fan, Zachary, Ahmed, Michael, Daniel, Jay Mommy, Paul Jones. Thank you for watching the program today. This is Football Talk. Football Talk with Russell Wayne. I'm going to be here pre-draft tomorrow. I'm going to be talking some more about this stuff right there. Faith, family, and football. That's what we preach right here on this channel. And anybody that goes into our description and uses the giving link for my church, and that's NTC Church. We are doing an awesome outreach here in Genesee County. I'm so proud of my church and being involved like that. So if you use that link and you give to that, then you're helping us help people in Genesee County. And God bless you for that. Faith, family, and football. In that order, it's important. Family and football, that's easy. You guys are my football family. And I love coming on here every day, talking football with you guys. Sharing some love, even with the Packer fans. I even love you, Steve. I love you, brother. May the Lord bless you. Thank you for joining and watching with us today. And may the Lord keep you, and may the Lord shine his face upon you until we meet again for Football Talk with Russell Wayne tomorrow. Peace out.